You're listening to JTE Movie Thinks. Is that the title? Is that correct grammar? All right, we'll go with it. It's a show about movies and thinking. And now, here's your host, every man's hero, JTE.
Welcome back to another episode of JTE Movie Thinks. Guys, this has been so much fun so far. I love talking movies with my friends, and that's why I made this podcast. Today I got a special guest, the king of Schmoville, the one, the only, the man who started it all. No, sorry guys, it's Cody Hall.
Hey, sorry to disappoint all of you. How's it going?
It's okay. You know what? I put in the title who my guest
is.
Yeah,
they know.
So
There's
they know.
no surprise. It's okay.
There's no surprise. But the thing that is a surprise on this show, Cody, what movie will we be talking about today? So I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What was the last movie you watched? Doesn't have to be a theater.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be, the last thing you watched in a theater. Mm-hmm. It could be an iPad. Something you watched on a plane. You're coming back from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Although you probably don't fly a lot. It could be something you watched at a friend's house on Netflix. Something you watched on your computer. I don't know if you download movies. I don't know that much about you. But what was the last movie you watched?
Okay, I watched the movie last night, actually. I was hanging out with a lady friend, and I knew I was coming on this show. And I didn't want to have any input at all for what movie I was going to choose for this. So I was like, okay, you pick a movie. I'm not going to, have any input. I don't want any ideas going into this. And we ended up seeing a 2011 movie. I believe it came out. Okay. We're going to do like 20 questions for this, see if you get this. At least 5 questions. All right, so it's 2011.
All right.
It came out in, I believe, September or October.
Okay.
Criminally underrated financially wise.
Okay, so
it's not even a word.
It
didn't make a lot of money.
It wasn't a big hit.
It should have, because everyone seemed to love it. I can't find one person who didn't like this movie.
Oh, okay, great.
Still nothing? Okay.
Well, I'm not great with the years. I'm not Scott Mantz. So.
It's a sports movie.
Sports movie in 2011.
Yes.
I want to take a shot.
Okay.
It's The Wrestler?
No, that was 2008.
Okay.
Good guess.
See, I told you I wasn't good with years.
Guess. There are 2 leads in this movie. You're going to get it right now. It's Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. We're talking about the 2011 film Warrior.
I love this movie.
Right? Thank you. It was so good. When she picked that one, I was like, oh, thank God. I could talk about this movie forever. I love it.
First of all, I feel like the way this show works, I should be interviewing your lady friend.
Yeah, I should.
Because she picked the movie.
She's very good at
this. But you know what? This works. You didn't pick the movie. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're brave to let your lady friend pick the movie.
I was scared because if she picked A Walk to Remember or something, and I had to talk about it'd be a fun podcast too. I can't wait for that.
It would have been a very short podcast.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm looking forward. I just want to say I love your style of show here. This is right up my alley. Because I'll be watching movies randomly, and I want to go on a Twitter rant or like a Twitter praise of something, and I don't want people being like, why the hell is Cody talking about the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie? I would love to talk about it in depth. Not this episode, maybe the future one, but who knows?
You do tweet about Scooby-Doo a lot.
I do. It's a great movie. Okay, never mind.
All right, well, let's talk about this movie. I agree with you. Criminally underrated. Mm-hmm. Was nominated for 1 Oscar, I believe, only for Nick Nolte. Yep, for supporting actor. The 2 leads, Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy, who were both gone on to bigger, better things. Although Edgerton just did Exodus, which was not a very big hit, but it's doing okay overseas.
It's a big thing, not exactly a better thing.
Tom Hardy is like the next, as far as Hollywood's concerned, he's like the next big thing. Mm-hmm. He's almost got like a De Niro type career going on. He's doing, I can see that, yeah. He's doing a lot of smaller, character-driven films. And I think Mad Max is going to be his first big budget.
I could see that happening.
Action film.
Hopefully he doesn't do Meet the Fockers, but
True. I think the Suicide Squad might.
I'm so glad he's doing that. Yeah. He already did a DC movie, and now he's out doing this. That's so cool.
It might put him on that level. So the director of this is Gavin Hood. Is that correct?
Gavin O'Connor.
Gavin
Gavin Hood did X-Men Origins.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
That's what I'm here for. I should just be here to correct you for this.
Well, listen, anybody can correct me on names.
It's okay. Yeah.
I am so glad it's not Gavin Hood, because X-Men Origins is one of the worst things I've ever seen with my eyeballs. Yeah. So this guy directed a few films. I'm trying to think what else he did. He did the film Ender's Game.
Did he? No, that was Gavin Hood. Gavin Hood did.
No, Gavin Hood did not do that.
Look it up, dude. You don't know Okay, come on.
I got my Gavin's.
I'm almost positive Gavin Hood did Ender's Game. Gavin O'Connor did Miracle.
Another great sports movie.
He did that one, and he did one coming up. I believe he's doing Jane Got a Gun. I think he did that one.
Jane Got a Gun. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I'm almost certain Gavin Hood did Ender's Game.
Gavin
You've got to get your Gavins together, man. I know it's a rare name, and I know when you see it, you think you know the guy. You don't.
It's same thing with Gareth Edwards and Gareth Edwards.
Oh, that's okay. I get those mixed up all the time. Yeah,
I get it mixed up all the time. All right, well, let's just say this is a movie that takes on MMA fighting. It's not the UFC. They couldn't get that license.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to be a part of it.
But this movie is about family.
Yeah.
It's about two brothers who have a troubled history that both are going for they're both doing it for the money. Mm-hmm. This ain't a Rocky story. They're not really doing it just for...
Not for the reconnection. They need $5 million.
They need the money for different reasons, whether it be Joel Edgerton just to support his family, support his life, and Tom Hardy, who plays like a veteran who kind of went AWOL. Did he go AWOL?
Yeah, there was a mission where they assumed he was dead, and he just kind of took off. But I think he's supporting his dead fellow soldier. Yeah, his family. I can't get words together today. Yeah.
And so... And Nick Nolte plays the father of these two troubled guys. Well, not troubled really, but two guys that aren't really getting along.
Fantastic performance by Nolte, by the way.
So good.
Yeah.
And he has a really dark history with his kids. Apparently he was an alcoholic, abusive father. And Tom Hardy comes back and is like, I need you to train me, but don't think that we're getting back together. I don't, I'm not looking to, reunite with you. I just need you because you're one of the best trainers I know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Joel Edgerton did he get laid off or I forgot?
No, he's upside down on his mortgage.
That's
on his
right.
house,
Yeah.
He desperately needs money or he's going to go bankrupt.
He's going for the gold for basically just for the money.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been actually a good year or two since I watched this movie, but I still remember it very well.
It seems like people are forgetting about it. It was very well received when it came out, but not a lot of people are talking about it anymore. I think this is good that we bring it up again because this is it's one of my favorite sports movies ever. It's very good.
I agree. And one thing I said a lot when this movie came out, I called it the Rocky. The way it reminded me of Rocky is not as far as the story, but it's like you have Rocky and Apollo. Mm-hmm. Rocky's underdog, and then you got the champion who's too cocky.
Yeah.
It's usually in those movies Rocky against somebody who's underestimating him.
Yeah.
This movie, it's like you got two Rockies.
It's tough.
Imagine if Rocky fought another
Apollo
Rocky.
got knocked out in the first 10 minutes when Tom Hardy laid him out in the ring, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah.
And it's like I can't think of a movie that really...
I can't either, yeah.
Kind of pulled that off where you're rooting for two people to win, and you're like, ah!
Yeah.
I asked a lot of my friends after they saw this movie, who do you want to win? I felt like depending on who they said, kind of told you what their character...
That's kind of true, yeah. It kind of tells you who your friends are,
Or it tells you a little more about your friends than you probably already know. It's like, oh, you're a Tom Hardy guy. And then some people are like, oh, you're a Joel Edgerton guy.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're in two different camps because they're two totally different personalities, two totally different fighting styles. Tom Hardy is the Clubber Lang style where he's going to go in there and
knock you the fuck out.
Knock you the fuck out until you're unconscious. Where Joel Edgerton is the submission kind of guy.
He's more strategic.
He's all about the arm bars and like the chokeholds. So they have two conjuncting, and the styles fit their characters really. One guy's trying to hold on to his house, so he's choking.
So he's trying to strategically look through this thing, and one guy's just plowing his way through life.
Yeah, the other guy's just angry and wants to punch everything, and that's why he gets in the ring.
Yeah.
I will say the movie is carried by the two leads, Joel Edgerton, Tom Hardy, and Nick Nolte. I would say Nolte is the lead, almost.
He's the first character you see on screen. He's in the very first scene. So.
Good point. Yes. And Miracle is a movie that a lot of people really like from this director. I like it. I don't love it. I
like this one way more.
Yeah, thank you. Me
Warrior's
too.
incredible, dude. I'm telling you.
Okay, so let's talk through the story a little bit. Frank Grillo also has a great supporting role.
I forgot he was in this movie.
Forgot it?
I was like, holy crap. Frank Grillo's in this.
Yeah. He plays like he plays a trainer who owns a gym, who's friends with Joel Edgerton's character, and he basically is like, train me. And he kind of does it almost, not, I want to say out of pity.
He doesn't really want to. He's just doing it because it's his buddy, and he's like...
And I think he owes him like a little bit of a favor.
Yeah, something
he
like
mentions.
That. Yeah.
So reluctantly, he kind of takes him on, because he has this other guy who's a prospect already. And when that guy gets injured, he's missing a player, and he's basically like, all right.
It's like, you're my only shot, man.
He's like, but if we're going to do this, you got to be full on. And he is kind of like the Rocky character because he's all about heart. He has that motivation. He goes home to his motivation every day after the gym to his kid and his wife.
His kid, by the way, the reason he's so upside down on his mortgage probably is because his kid had like a heart issue.
That's right.
Remember his guy was talking about that. Yeah. So that's another empathetic thing driven to this guy. It's crazy.
Now, while there is not a main villain in this movie, there is one guy played by Kurt Angle.
Dude, when I first saw this movie, I was a huge WWE guy in WWF back in the day, and I saw Kurt Angle, and I was like, that's the Olympic hero right there. He plays like Koba or something, some Russian guy. Oh, man. I love Kurt Angle, dude. That was so cool when I saw that.
Yeah, and he's playing almost like this, it reminds me of a real-life MMA fighter. Fedor? Something like that? K.
Sure,
Fedor.
yeah.
He's kind of reminds me of like a real-life MMA fighter. And he's not fighting UFC, but in MMA. And yeah, he's just like this bad Russian badass who just kind of destroys people with backflips, and he's just flipping people around like he's kind of like Randy Couture. Mm-hmm. Kind of reminds me a lot of Randy Couture. Mm. And he's the heavy favorite. He's the Ivan Drago of this tournament, basically. I love
this is just pretty much just all the Rocky movies put into one. You know? That's what it is. There's so many elements here.
And like a good Rocky movie, there's instead of just one fight at the end, you got multiple fights in the movie.
The whole second half is just what I loved about this movie is that the first half of it is all emotional. They spend the whole time getting you to connect with both these characters. When the actual fighting does happen, you don't know who you're rooting for. When the fight scenes are still awesome, by the way, in the second half, but I love the way they did that.
Really well shot, and there is a montage. Any sports movie has a montage. Of course. I didn't love the montage in this movie. There was a lot of like split screen going on.
That is true.
Which I don't know. Like I love a good montage. Mm-hmm. If everybody knows me, I love a good sports montage. But this one wasn't great to me, but it was serviceable, and it was pretty damn short. It was like really quick, and then
it got the time across. You needed some way to do it. Yeah. Did a quick montage.
And the last 40 minutes of this movie really is the tournament.
Yeah.
Which is just badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I was saying this the other day to somebody. I love a fight when it's emotionally motivated.
Yes.
What makes a great fight in a movie is not just two guys who are skilled.
Yeah.
It's when two guys are
there's stakes on the line.
There's stakes.
Like,
stakes and emotion. You could see the emotion in the fighting. And that it could be said more than anybody than Tom Hardy in this movie.
Yeah.
The dude is just he doesn't speak a lot in the movie. He always has his like he's boiling over. This guy is like ready to snap like a rubber band at any moment. So the second he gets in the ring, he just
lets
explodes.
it go. Yeah.
And I think the first fight, which if you see the movie, does not last very long at all.
Maybe 30 seconds, if that.
Yeah. And it's actually a rematch with a guy he beat up earlier in the gym, which goes viral.
That was him. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
There's this whole viral moment where like...
That's how he got noticed to where he could possibly get... That's how he found out about this tournament, pretty much.
Yeah, he's kind of like a viral sensation because he beat one of the contenders in a scrimmage like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And he's almost... He uses it to get in tournament. They don't really get to it too much, though, do they?
What?
In the movie, you watched it recently.
Pretty much,
Do they really get into how he got into the tournament?
He knocked out the guy in the gym, and then his manager came up to Nick Nolte's house trying to find out where Tommy is, and I think he just saw it on an ad.
Oh, okay.
In the gym, I think they had like not sports, but they had some MMA show on, and they were talking about it. So he found out about it through all this, and then.
And I guess you just you could buy your way into it.
I was.
Or you had to be sponsored.
Maybe because his dad probably has some wrestling connections. I'm assuming that's what it was. I don't know. That
it's a good question. Well,
it doesn't matter. He's in it.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I talking about this movie really makes me want to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because I do own this on Blu-ray.
Me too.
Yeah. I bought it as soon as it hit the shelves. Because this was one of my favorite movies. It was my top 10 that year.
Yeah, I think it was my number 3 or number 4 that year.
I think it was my number 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So high praise coming from Cody and JTE.
Yeah.
So without spoiling the ending, were you satisfied?
Ending is the best part of this. I watched this on YouTube this morning, dude. I watched the movie last night and I watched the ending again on YouTube. I watched it. Can I say I cried? Can I say that?
Yeah, of course.
Every single time, dude.
Man, tears were shed.
As soon as that song comes on, I'm like, oh my God.
What song is that, by the way?
I don't know. I need to find it and get it. Just so when I'm driving my car and that comes on, I'll be like, oh God.
I need to download that.
Yeah,
that should have been playing right when I lost the Schmoes Know Tournament movie trivia. That I should have queued that up on the soundboard. So the second I lost, everything.
I'll carry you out there.
Yeah, all other noise would have gone silent. Yeah. I would turn all the mics down. That song would have came on.
Yeah.
And you just saw me sad on the floor.
That'd be great.
But yeah, it is a very emotional ending. Without giving away what happens, because I don't want to tell you who won.
It's pretty much perfect the way it happens. Like just the way that they get the audience to react to it. I know I wasn't alone. Everyone in that theater that I saw with was just in tears.
Tearing up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Let me ask you this, because I don't want to say, if you're listening to this and you watch the movie, you know who won, but the person that won, technically, is that who you wanted to win?
I think at the end of the day, yes, but it's not like I was rooting against the other guy. You know
That's the thing about this
That's
movie.
why it was so... It's like a Schmoes choice thing, dude. You got to figure out which one you want to win. It's like, what the hell? It's like stuff, yeah.
I saw this with my cousin. We just went to go see it one night because I heard it was so good, and in the theater. And it was weird because me and him were rooting for one of the characters. I'll say what character it was. We were rooting for the Tom Hardy character.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say if he won or not, but I find it, like I was saying earlier, I'm curious. I like to talk to people.
I would like to see what people say about this, what they were going through doing it, yeah.
If you're listening to this, and
leave a comment
below. Tell me who you're rooting for. Were you going for Joel Edgerton or were you going for Tom Hardy? And
it's very tough.
Leave a sentence to tell me why you were going for that person, or were you just torn and you didn't really care who won because, again, like I said, it's like two Rockies fighting each other. And like, no one really wins, no one really loses.
The way that it came down to for me was for the $5 million that was on the line. I figured they can split it. You know what I mean? Like whoever won would help out the other guy.
I see what you're saying.
You know what
I mean? We're dancing around.
We're dancing around spoilers right now.
But
you know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else this guy has directed again. You mentioned he directed Miracle.
Miracle, and I know he's doing the upcoming Jane Got a Gun. I'm assuming he did a movie in between, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe not. Whatever.
I believe he did a film called... Hold on, I'm looking up right now.
This is fun.
David O'Connor. Oh, he did a Pride and Glory.
He did Pride and Glory?
With Colin Farrell and Edward Norton. That's a movie I always wanted to see, never caught.
Yeah, me too.
Very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, that looks like those were his big credits. He hasn't really done much else, a lot of TV. Miracle was definitely his breakthrough.
Yeah, that was his probably most successful movie.
Yep.
Definitely.
I'm really interested to see what else this guy does. Like you said, Jane's Got a Gun. The director of that film dropped out.
Yeah, that is tons of controversy around that.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if he was... But you know what? What a great replacement.
Yeah, I'll say.
The guy showed he knows how to make a movie.
Yeah.
Definitely a sports movie. This was the movie that got me on the Tom Hardy bandwagon.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think before this he done...
his last one before this was Inception.
Oh, was it Inception before this? And then I liked him.
Inception was 2010. This was 2011.
He did Bronson also, the Nicholas Ray.
Yeah, that was before this as well. Yeah.
But this is the movie where I was like, who is this guy?
This is when he got respect. Because at this point, when this movie came out, that's when the Bane casting came out. They're like, well, this Tom Hardy guy's going to play Bane. He can't play him. And everyone saw this movie and they shut the fuck up. Dude. Yeah. It was crazy.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Everyone shut up after this. They're like, oh, he's ripped. He can do it.
You could show every movie Tom Hardy has done. And then show somebody Dark Knight Rises, and if you don't tell them it's Tom Hardy,
they can't tell.
They're not going to know, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So you got to give him some credit. The wife in the movie did a good job, especially during tournament scenes when they cut to her. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
There's no one else of really significance in the movie besides Nolte and these other two characters.
Yeah.
And I think Nolte did not win the Best Supporting Actor.
No, he didn't win. He was nominated. I'm so glad he was. That movie should have gotten so much more nominations than it did. I think that was the only one it got.
I agree with you, but I was glad it got that one nomination because it shined some light on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I totally agree. Wow, what a good movie. Yeah. What would you put this? How would you rank this as far as sports movies? Give me your top 3 sports movies.
Oh, gee, you're gonna put me on. I don't even know. This is up there. It's probably
give me 3 that come to your mind.
I love the first Rocky.
Okay.
That's probably on there.
You could stay.
This one's on there. Major League. I love Major League a lot.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of all the sports.
It's tough because I know Major League's a sports movie, but I almost put it in a comedy.
It's more of a comedy than anything, yeah.
Let me tell you mine, and maybe you'll...
Field of Dreams, does that count?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's great,
yeah. For me, Rudy.
Rudy's good.
It's one of my all-time favorite sports movies. Yeah. Rocky is a no-brainer. After that, man, that's tough. Would you consider The Wrestler a sports movie?
I don't see why not if we're considering this I guess, yeah.
That movie in a lot of ways it's not like Warrior, but it's an emotional film about an athlete.
Yeah.
And definitely emotion, definitely.
I have a funny story about The Wrestler. I saw that with my dad. I know this is going off topic, I don't care.
Okay,
I saw it with my dad. And you know that scene in The Wrestler when he's just banging that girl, right in the ass? Yeah. I was sitting there with my dad and I was just like, this is awkward. And I was like,
it was in the
we're in the theater and we're sitting there watching it and I'm like, I should get up. No, fucking, I'm just going to watch this. And it was very bizarre. That's my Wrestler story.
Well, you were younger too at that point.
I was like, I want to say 14 or 15 at that point.
Did your dad seem uncomfortable? Or was he like...
Yeah, he was like looking over too and he's like, oh.
See, I feel like if it was my dad, I'd be like, ooh. But if it was my mom, I'd feel a lot worse.
Yeah.
I took my mom to see a movie with Dustin Hoffman. Oh, God, I can't remember the name. It was like a mafia kind of hit. kind of heist movie with Dustin Hoffman and I think Andy Garcia, and there was a sex scene at a strip club, and I wish I could just teleport myself out of that.
Dude, it's so awkward.
Because it's like, oh.
That happened so many times when I was a teenager, just watching movies and my parents were there, and then those scenes would come on and be like, oh, God.
Oh, God, no. All right, man. Well, this was a great episode of JTE Movie Things. You brought one of my favorite films of 2011 forward.
That's what I'm here for, man.
And I can't tell you, if you people out there have not seen this movie, I don't care if you have to order online.
Please see it.
Download it on YouTube if they haven't. Any way you can, go watch this movie. It's an emotional roller coaster.
Sure.
I feel
sure. It makes you feel things. That's all that matters.
I was trying to think of like a better word. It's such an emotional movie with a sports film. I don't quite think of anything else quite like it. Like even the wrestler. Even though I mentioned the wrestler.
This one hit me harder than the wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
This one hit me harder than Rocky. Like Rocky's great, a phenomenal movie, one of the best sports movies of all time.
Kind of an emotional.
I know. I'm just saying, like this one hit me like so hard, like especially at the ending. I was like, oh.
Here's the thing: Rocky was called like the feel-good movie of the year it came out. I wouldn't call this a feel-good movie.
No.
It's a very dark, emotional, dramatic film that just happens to have MMA fighting at the center of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the.
You're gonna walk out of this like feeling you just attended a funeral. You're like, oh God.
Wow, that's tough. No, because I don't want to talk about the ending, but the ending, I had mixed emotions. And
really? Yeah.
I also it's one of those movies where I would love. You know, what's a good character film? When you want to know what's happened to the characters when the credits roll.
Exactly. You don't want it to stop. You want to see what happens to these guys. Yeah. Give us a text, something.
When this movie ended, I remember saying to myself, I want to know more about these guys, and I want to know what happened. The last movie that did that to me, actually, well, a lot of movies, but one that sticks out is Spectacular Now.
I love Spectacular Now.
Love Spectacular Now. When that movie ended, I was like, I need to know what happened to this couple.
Yeah.
Don't end
it there. Just have them do that? No.
Yeah. And Warrior kind of ends that way. Like, it ends where it's like, I want to know. It's almost like, I want to know everything's all right.
Yeah.
I want to know everything worked out.
Make these tears stop, please.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Cody, thank you so much for being on JTE Movie Things.
No problem, dude. I'm going to be here a lot. I'm telling you. This podcast, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be on this all the time because this is right up my alley. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, this will not be the last you see of Mr. Cody Hall. Cody, where can they find you on Twitter or Facebook?
I'm on Twitter at @TheRealCodyHall and Facebook just Cody Hall. Yeah.
Are there a lot of fake Cody Halls out there?
There are. You know, I tried getting the Cody Hall name on there, and there's at least 27 of them.
But you're the real.
I'm the real
Cody Hall.
You know, there's a lot of imposters.
Okay. You can find me at Schmoes JTE. You can catch me on Box Office Breakdown every Monday with Bobby Finstack and the one and only Sarah Stratton, where we cover all the box office numbers. Facebook, Josh, a.k.a. JTE. You can always catch me in Schmoville. I'm always chatting movies on there. Cody, you're always on Twitter talking movies, too.
Exactly, yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for listening. Do me a favor. If you're listening to on iTunes, I don't care where you're listening to it, do me a favor. Jump on iTunes. Hit that 5-star if you think I gave you a 5-star podcast. And if we're talking about Warrior, it's a 5-star podcast.
This is 5 stars. You don't have a choice in this.
Yeah, and then leave a review. It doesn't have to be a sentence or even a paragraph. You can leave me a little thumbs up. I don't care. Yeah. Anything counts.
A wink. Anything.
Anything. It helps.
Space.
It helps me out. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Keep thinking about those movies.